Hi, I'm Kelly Houston and I'm a procrastinator in recovery. In my last video on the subject of procrastination, I shared with you a little excerpt from the book Atomic Habits by James Clear, which had a remarkable impact on me understanding why I procrastinate. I have since found a new book which really looks at the how we procrastinate side of things, and it's the title of the chapter in this latest book by Neil Fiore called The Now Habit. And there's a bit of a metaphor on page 48 that again was really insightful for me, so I'm going to share it with you now. The heading is Creating Safety, the First Major Step Out of Procrastination. To better understand how you learn to procrastinate, I invite you to use your imagination and to accept for a few minutes a metaphor in which the test, job, or task in your life is to walk a board. Situation A. The task before you is to walk a solid board that is 30 feet long, 4 inches thick and 1 foot wide. You have all the physical, mental and emotional abilities necessary to perform this task. You can carefully place 1 foot in front of the other. You can dance, skip or leap across the board. You can do it, no problem. Take a minute to close your eyes, relax and imagine yourself in that situation. Notice how you feel about this task. Are you scared or blocked in any way? Do you feel any need to procrastinate? Fear of failing or making a mistake cannot be an issue here, but you might find that you delay starting out of a need to assert your independence and to resist being asked to do even a simple task, such as walking a board. Situation B. Now imagine that the task is just the same. To walk a board 30 feet long, 1 foot wide, and you have the same abilities, only now the board suspended between two buildings 100 feet above the pavement. Look across to the other end of the board and contemplate beginning your assignment. What do you feel? What are you thinking about? What are you saying to yourself? Take a moment to notice how your reactions in this situation differ from those you had in situation A. Notice how rapidly your feelings about the task change when the height of the board changes and the consequences of falling are greater. If your reactions are like those of most, you may find yourself responding, I'm thinking about height, what if I fall? The consequences of falling or making a mistake would probably be death. Of course, while you are focused only on the danger of falling, you are losing sight of the simplicity of the task and forgetting that just a moment ago you had all the ability to do it with no problem. The danger of a mistake is now so great that you must stop to consider the threat to your life. It's no longer just a job, a test, a project. It's your life, your future that's at stake. There's no way you can be calm now. You're already feeling the adrenaline rush of the stress response as you look over the edge, presenting to your mind and body the image of falling 100 feet. There's real reason to fear. If I made a mistake, I would die. Regardless of how simple the task and regardless of how capable you are, that fear that a mistake could mean the end of your life makes it almost impossible to take the first step. Ironically, on a psychological level, you are often the one who raises the board off the ground by changing a straightforward task into a test of your worth, proof that you are acceptable, or a test of whether you will be successful and happy, or a failure and miserable. In most cases, you are the one who confuses just doing the job with testing your worth, where one possible mistake would feel like the end of the world. When your early training leads you to believe that your self-worth is determined by your performance, you must focus on self-protection from failing and falling, rather than on just doing the job. Now shut that situation and scene off. Take a deep breath before moving to the next situation. Situation C. In this scene, you are still in the board, suspended between two buildings, 100 feet off the ground. The task remains simple and you still have all the ability necessary to do it, yet you remain frozen on your end of the board while thinking about what to do. You suddenly feel the heat behind you and can hear the crackling noise of fire. The building supporting your end of the board is on fire. What are your thoughts now? How have you changed your focus from the previous situation? Remember, just a moment ago you were frozen in fright about the possibility of falling 100 feet. Do you find yourself thinking, I've got to get across the board, no time to worry about falling or doing it perfectly. I'll do it any old way I can. Dignity and embarrassment are no longer important. Most people start thinking creatively about getting across the board by whatever imperfect means they can. Making a mistake and doing the job perfectly are quickly forgotten, and workshop participants will often say, I'd scoot across the board on my bottom, on my hands and knees if I had to. It's only the dread of something worse that gets us beyond our dread of being less than perfect and being judged. Wow. So what if we started walking on that board while it was still firmly on the ground? What if we didn't tell ourselves that story that the board is 100 feet off the ground? What if we believed in our confidences and abilities and crossed the board with ease rather than get caught up in our story of failure? What if?